Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be getting ourselves the Infinity Ingot. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we really need to dive deep into getting all the prerequisites that are going to be required for getting the Infinity Ingot. So, in order to do that, I went ahead and set up this as our basically machine room. So that way we have our thermal expansion stuff in here. And what I've been working on is crushing down some, or melting down some ender pearls, and also melting down some redstone, and that's allowing us to get this flux electrum blend. We need some of this stuff, basically because we're going to have to turn it into singularities, and we're definitely going to be needing that soon. So right here we should probably get a bucket, that way we can get that Enderium, and then of course we're going to change that over here in a second, because all this stuff is EMCable. Really we just need one bucket worth, and we can usually craft all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and make some resonant ender. That should be pretty simple here. I believe it's like 4 and a piece of silver, right? Let's take a look. Resonant ender. We need to make the blend, basically. I mean, I guess we could have done it this way as well. The blend. 3 lead. There we go. And that'll give us that blend. We can go ahead and store that away. We don't really need it right now anymore. And we need to throw this in with some sand. And that real quick will make Enderium ingots, which is really nice. We get some slag. And then we need to throw some of this in here. And this is going to get us some flux infused, which we also need for the singularities. All of this stuff is needed for singularities. Let's go ahead and throw this stuff in. Perfect. As you can see, I'm already up to the Nether Quartz singularity. I've already made all of these singularities up to that one. So we still need copper, tin, all these other singularities, which I'll get over time. It's just going to take a little bit. The Emerald singularity is probably the weirdest one to get. But as you can see, it is 1.7 billion. So what I can do is just throw 2 octuple compressed sugarcane in there, and that should be enough to produce enough emerald block in order to complete that singularity. So we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. So here we go. That is all done. Now, another one that we can probably get, let's get another bucket, that I haven't done. We need glowstone. So let's go ahead and break this machine here and this one. I'm breaking them to clear them out of what they had in them, so I can throw some glowstone in there. That way we can get, whatever it is. It's funny, I know the recipes, but like I forget the names of everything sometimes. Lumium, I think is what it is. Yeah, block of lumium. I don't think we're going to need blocks of lumium, but we may need it for other recipes later on, especially for upgrades and things like that. But the Signalium, that's what we're about to make right now. So let's go ahead and make Signalium blend, which is copper powder and silver. I did have some on me. Copper and silver. And then, of course, a bucket of redstone. And we can craft that up. What was it? The copper and 1 silver? Yes. And again, this goes in here like so. We really don't need the rest of this to go in here, so we can just kind of toss that in. Anything that has EMC, of course, I'm going to be using. There we go. There's that Signalium. And bam, we pretty much have all of the base, minus aluminum, which we're working on right now. As you can see, there's a little bit of glowstone in there that might be enough for us to take a bucket out and utilize this aluminum right here. I think that this is... What is this used for? Why am I not seeing the aluminum? Let's take a look. I guess right here. This should be aluminum blend. It's weird, it didn't show the recipe for it. But tin and silver. That's easy enough. Pulverized tin and a piece of silver. And we get some aluminum blend. And of course, like I said earlier, that's all EMCable. All this stuff should be once it's actually produced. And we're good to go. That's pretty much all the thermal stuff that we're going to need, which is awesome. Now, I did make 2 of the compressors. The neutronium compressor, I did go ahead and make another one. I'm only using 2 at the moment. Yeah, I could probably use more of them. But for right now, I think 2 is going to be perfect. I'm using my EMC farm to fuel them, so it's actually working out pretty well for that. Alright, so we have a few other things we need to kind of prep and set up for. And that is going to be prepping for the ultimate stew and the cosmic meatballs. Now, the cosmic meatballs should be pretty easy for us to obtain. The raw fish, I don't think that I have, I've gotten any fish, have I? Oh, I have. Okay, good, 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 good. So, we need 2 of those. Now, when it comes to raw, I don't have too much. Well, I guess we might have actually everything. And I'm assuming we acquired this stuff through loot boxes and things like that. So the cosmic meatballs. The only thing we're missing is rabbit, right? Okay, so market. I don't think we've made one of those. Let's go ahead and make a market. There, we already have one. Emerald. And I guess we need to spawn a rabbit, right? So let's find the actual rabbit. There it is. 3 emeralds. And that'll give a rabbit. And then we just take this guy out. Just like that. Okay, that got us rabbit high. That didn't get us exactly what we needed. Let's buy another one. And more rabbit hide. Okay. So this guy's going to be tough. Should spawn a bunch of them in. They're bound to give us something. There we go. Wow. It only took us going to that part. So I guess we're going to have rabbits running around for right now. Because, yeah, shooting these guys down are going to be kind of hard. Come on. I'm going to end up with just arrows all over the base. Goodness. Perfect. Alright, my aim, I guess, is on point today. Pun not intended. Alright, so there we go. We'll save the rabbit. And that should be everything for that. We have to make this in the extreme crafting table. So I guess it shouldn't take too long. We need to make cosmic meatballs. We're missing 1 pile of neutronium. Pile of neutronium. There we go. And there's the cosmic meatball. Perfect. Now, this does a lot of saturation, which is kind of crazy. So we're probably going to swap out our epic bacon for cosmic meatballs. And my armor auto-consumes my food. Take a look at the helmet. It has an auto-feed mode, and basically when my hunger drops down a little bit, it'll automatically feed me. So having some cosmic meatballs would be really nice. Alright, so now that that is completed, we need to start working on the stew. The stew is going to take a little bit more, because this is actually Pam's Harvest Craft stuff. So really we need a farmer. We're going to have to set up some kind of farming area for this. And we're going to have to make pretty much everything for this. Now the dragon fruit is its own thing. Because I remember making this last time. Rabbit stew is its own thing. Cake is something we're going to have to probably make unless we already have it EMC'd, which we might. I don't know. We already have it. Okay, so we already have some cake. So we're good there. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab some more emeralds. Because really we just need to fill up our inventory, basically, with all the Pam Harvestcraft stuff. And we can do that here. So dragon fruit is going to be something we're definitely going to need. But I need to purchase pretty much every single one of these and then set up a farm for it. And that's going to take just a little bit of time. So I think I have just about everything ready to go. I have my dragon fruit over here. And then over in my other area, where I was working on the farming, I kind of have a peppercorn tree that we needed. Of course, I need to turn these off. We need the peppercorn. These guys can just go. We don't need these anymore. They were only temporary anyways. Just enough to get a farm going so we can have some good old-fashioned food started. I didn't need too many seeds, which is a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and pick all these up. And I'm going to revert this all back to normal after I'm done. I don't really need all of this craziness going on here with all the crops and stuff like that. But there we go. Awesome. So that's all fixed. Everything here is going to go right into the Applied Energistic System. Awesome. I did notice that the Evertide Amulet in this version, it seems like it's broken. You can't make water with the Evertide Amulet. If you look at the water bucket, you can't make it. For some reason, the lava one you can. So I'm assuming there's a recipe broken there. Because this is how I've been getting water. It's actually really nice to be able to get it this way. But, I guess you can't get it that way. So, anyways, let's take a look at Avarita, the ultimate stew. So we pretty much have all of this, minus a few things. I went ahead and got all of the food, minus broccoli. I don't think I need broccoli. Broccoli is the only thing I don't think I made. Which is kind of interesting. But we can, of course, make some. Alright, so back to Avarita. Alright, so we need carrot stew, which we're going to need a pot. All of this stuff we're going to end up needing. Tofu we can get pretty easy. The stock, we can go ahead and make that. That requires this. Let's see, what else do we need? Tofu. That's where we need to go use this presser. I don't think this requires too much. We need soybean for this. And then I'll make that. I don't think that requires any power, does it? No. So there we go. There's our tofu. And that'll save us a little bit of time. So we should be able to make... Oh, we also need heavy cream. No, we don't need heavy cream because we're using soy. So there we go. There's our carrot soup. Very simple. Meatloaf's a little bit different. It's going to require some sort of meat. And we're also going to need ketchup and bakeware. Let's go ahead and make some bakeware. Then we're also going to need ketchup, which requires a juicer, which we don't actually have yet. So let's make that. Sometimes the juicer is like one of the first things that you can make in the game. If Pam's in here, that will basically allow you to turn any vegetable into some kind of fruit, or turn apples into apple juice, thing like that, and you can make a lot more of it. So do we have it? There's our ketchup. Awesome. Can't have meatloaf without ketchup now. And bread, which is its own beast, right? It requires flour. We need a mortar. I think there's another way of making bread. We might actually have bread, now that I think about it. No, we don't. I was going to say, maybe there's another way to make bread. I'm pretty sure there is. Using an alloy smelter and flour. Yes. So, this is probably one of the easier ways to do it. Let me hit on through here. Because Ender.io actually adds a way to make flour. We'll throw that in there. Bam, look at that flour. Boy, oh boy, that's fast. And that's bread. So, Avarita. Meatloaf. There's our meatloaf. Awesome. Pumpkin, we have all that. Coarse fruit. Beetroot stew. We need black pepper. So there's our black pepper. Onions. Milk is something we're going to need. So let's get a bucket. I don't think I have milk EMC'd yet. No. So I will need to go ahead and grab some of that, which we, of course, have milk cows for that. Or you can use a normal cow. Doesn't really matter. Normal cow also works. But there we go. And we can EMC this. And, of course, we can throw that in there. That'll give us 4 fresh milk. Which would allow us to make this a lot easier. Of course, we could probably make soy milk as well, but what all are we missing? Pretty sure I made onions. I thought I had that. I'm almost positive that we ended up making it. Well, I could be wrong. Let's see. Where did it go? Because I know I had the seed. Huh. Yeah, because it should have been anywhere in here I would have picked that up at. Strange. So, I'm going to head on over here then. To where all of my other stuff's at. I guess we're going to have to buy another one. Emerald. And I'll have to look through here till I find onion. Which I think is one of the first few. And I'll be back. There it is. Oh, there it is. We don't have to be back. I don't have to leave for nothing. Should be able to head right into here. Plant room. Perfect. Alright, and that'll let us complete that. Beetroot stew, and then we can take this and turn it into stew. Awesome. Next, but not least, is rabbit stew, so we should be able to have this all. And what are we missing? Cooked rabbit? What? And there we go. Okay, so I think we have just about everything. We just need to kind of pull off the rest of the stuff, and we should be ready to craft this. Oh, bacon. That's one. Beef jerky was something we needed. Salt. We didn't actually make that one, but there we go. Awesome. So I believe for the stew, I think we have everything ready to go in our inventory up until this point. So let's go ahead and make this ultimate stew. Bam. Look at that. And of course, we need to make sure we EMC this stuff. Because boy oh boy, does that have some saturation on it. Same as, of course, the meatballs, I would have to say. So, we're getting very close to being able to make this catalyst. As you can see, the catalyst can require blocks of steel, dark steel, which of course we have, Inderium, which we definitely have, Indorus Pearl, some Neutronium, not too much, a Matrix Ingot, Diamond Lattice, all this stuff. A Record Fragment is something that I think we have. I think we have the records. If not, I think we can make them. Blank record, yeah, we can make a record with some essence. Of course, we can easily get this stuff, but yeah, and it looks like any record will work. Or we can just get an audio file and trade with them. That's actually not that bad, because we could technically do that. Okay, so Ultimate Stew, let's go check on our other setup over here. I'm basically working on. Basically, our EMC farm is what's been taking over. And just requires a little bit of time. So let's take a look. Do we have any more singularities done? Yes, our copper singularity is done, which is awesome. So let's take a look. What's next? Tin, we've already got tin working on lead. Okay. Let's go ahead and start this one on lead. Because technically we're almost done with these. So we'll get that one working on lead. This one will technically finish up its little thing. Then we can break it. And we pretty much just replace it, and it's going to start all over with lead now. Pretty nice. Now this one should be almost done as well. Because I did this one right after. And there's our tin singularity. Perfect. Alright, what's after lead? Silver. So let's go ahead and get our silver done. Like I said, these are just going to take a little bit of time and patience. But eventually, you'll get them all. So, there we go. That'll finish doing its thing. Let this finish doing its thing. Break it, and that's what I've been doing. I've just been breaking it, replacing it, setting it back up, and letting it rip. And it's creating the singularities for us. And eventually we'll get done. Of course, you can do multiples of these if you really wanted to. Just right now, my EMC farm is just fast enough to keep up with one of them on each side. And that's what I'm going with. So there is an interesting way that we could technically get some records, and I think it'd be kind of fun to do it this way. So, if we take a look at the record, or records, and we take a look at this, there is a lucky egg drop chance that we could get a record. And it's actually a pretty high chance. As you can see, there's not many things in here, so there's a pretty good chance that we could get this. Now, the lucky egg comes from these plastic sheets from Hatchery. That's the only thing that would be holding us back from EMCing pretty much everything, but the lucky machine doesn't seem too hard to make. We need a circuit board, which is going to require this plastic. This plastic in itself is just going to be a shredder. So let's see about making this. I've actually never used this machine before, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what exactly this does and how we can do it. I know we could speed it up pretty fast. So let's get some feathers. And I just want to see how quick this thing is and what it actually does. And does it require power? Looks like it does, so that's okay. We'll just throw a point on it. Like that. And it has an inventory. So I can throw that in there, of course, and we can have acceleration wand this. And get those feather fibers, right? And these are going to make the pad from Hatchery, right? Alright, so let's go. It'd be funny if we got this like on our first one. Alright, so on Hatchery, we're trying to basically make the lucky egg machine. That's going to require plastic sheets, right? And we need to just smelt the fibers. That doesn't seem bad at all. Right? Because let's go ahead and move this machine. We'll move this into our machine room. That'll make it a little bit easier on us. So we can just route things back and forth. Awesome. So, machine. Let's place the shredder down here. Throw that back on there. Make sure to get the feathers back in here, and we'll go ahead and cook these down. Plastic sheets. All right. Back into Hatchery. Need to make a circuit board. Pretty simple. And last but not least, we are going to need some iron and then eggs. We should totally have eggs. Yep, there's eggs. All right, and last but not least, there's our egg machine. Kind of got a weird look to it, but this is what this thing is. So you input an egg and you input the sheets and you give it some RF, I guess. And this will be an interesting way for us to get records, I guess. Apparently there's some upgrades in here. High speed, what is this? Speed upgrades. RF capacity, efficiency, and tanks. Huh. Wonder why you need it on this thing, because you're really just feeding it eggs and these fibers. That's interesting. So there's all those fibers. Right, and we can give it any egg. Let's do normal eggs. Unless it requires dyed eggs, I don't know. Okay, we give it eggs and the sheets. Give it a little bit of a speed up. And we get these lucky eggs. And then we open them, we get loot. Seems simple enough, right? Acceleration wand it. Right? And we should get our prize out of here. So let's go ahead and pull these out. Let's just hope. Oh, we got one record. Look at that. And we get 2 records. Bam. There's the record fragments. That didn't take too long at all. I have to say that's probably a decent way of getting it. So, we've pretty much completed just about everything. almost everything that we need for this. Literally, the Indorus Pearl is very simple. The only thing left to do is finish up our singularities, which we are very, very close to doing. I just want to throw that out there. We are very, very close to having the singularities finished. Let's just kind of go over and check one more time. I think these are getting very close to being done. Ah, they are done. Nice. So yeah, as you can see, these don't actually take that long to do. Not that long at all. So let's start working on the next set. So we finished lead and silver. We need to do nickel and diamond. And of course, nickel is going to be easier than the diamond ones. The diamond one's probably going to take longer than the nickel, which is fine. And of course, the emerald's going to take long as well. But it shouldn't be that bad, all in all. So on here, we can go ahead and switch this one to the diamond. And of course, let this finish its thing out. Pretty much, it will just waste some stuff right there towards the end, but that's okay. And then over here, we're just going to swap these out again for the nickel. There we go. That should start producing. And we can go ahead and shut this down. And there we go. Perfect. So the only one left, right? There's going to be two more left after this. And that is going to be the emerald and the flux. The flux singularity. Huge difference in EMC cost, by the way. Huge difference. That's why I said these are going to take a lot longer. The emerald specifically, because it's 1,739,980,800. So that's a lot of EMC going into there. But like I said, should be pretty easy with just one or just two octuple compressed, which will be about 2.6 billion EMC that we're going to put into here. So all in all, these should finish very, very soon, which I'm super excited for. We're about to get the singularity. So I did notice that my rainbow gen had stopped working. I just had updated to the latest version of this mod pack. And apparently, at the very bottom of the changelog, it says, disabled fluid container bottles in Ender.io should fix issue number 209. Now, I don't know exactly what the issue number 209 was, but that kind of sucks because that's what I was using to pretty much fill my bottles. So we need to kind of switch things over. So since we have to remove this, let's go ahead and place down the fluid transposer. Now I want it to go in a very specific direction. So just to make sure that I place it down right, we'll go ahead and place it here. Perfect. One side also needs power, so let me go ahead and throw power to it on this side. And we'll give that thing some good power. Just like that. Perfect. Now, we also need to upgrade this, so I'm going to hit it with a conversion kit that should max upgrade it there, and then we'll bump it up one more that should put it at max on its upgrades. And then we also need some good old augments that are going to pretty much accelerate its speed. And hopefully, this is fast enough. I hope. So let's look at it from the front. We know the back is the side that we want to use to fill. So this should fill with water and should maintain that being filled. This side is filling with items, so that should also be blue. And that should fill with bottles. And then the top, we want to auto output the bottles. And that should hopefully fix our issue with our potion generator not working. Yeah, it's really not that hard. We could have used this before, but, you know, this way didn't, use power. This one uses power, the other one didn't. So I would prefer to use the Ender.io, but of course, if things change and you guys are experiencing the same problem, now you know how to fix it. So, very simple. That's all we had to do. And now our Rainbow Gen's back up and running. So yeah, this has been a pretty interesting episode. So we've gotten quite a lot of things done. there's been quite a lot we got done today, and I think these singularities are probably almost done in themselves. Yeah, look at that. We already have a nickel singularity, and I guess right before the end of the episode, we can go ahead and see here diamond singularity Emerald. We need to make an emerald singularity. That's the only one left. Oh, this now has an inventory slot. So this did get upgraded. I wonder if this now learns items. Of course, I don't want to test it on this, but I wonder if it learns items now, because I know that was an issue before. So we have these singularities now. Emerald is the next step up. And remember how I said emerald's not going to work because we are pumping emeralds into here, right? So they're technically not going to work, right? It's just going to build up. The internal buffer is going to stop. So what I need to do is drop 2 of these in here. And that should be way more than enough EMC to suffice. Way more. That should be done. Go ahead and break that. And literally we're working on our last 2 singularities. Last 2. So this requires the electrum. And it requires it in block form. So let's head over here. We'll go ahead and swap this one out. This one will work like normal. This needs to quit. And there we go. We're working on our last one. And literally we're about to be able to make this thing. So you know that empty slot on the personal EMC link that I just noticed over here that's in this new version? Basically you can set something to be on that output slot and it will output that item. So technically, you don't need the energy condenser at all for this. This completely bypasses the need for an energy condenser. You can just use your internal EMC and directly output any item you want that has an EMC value. That's actually really cool. And really, really useful. I must say. I can say, I can't think, man, props, man. I wonder if he did fix that, though, where inputting it doesn't save to your internal transmutation table. But either way, that functionality is really, really cool. And I'm glad I just found that out. Because technically, I could completely remove this and use the personal EMC link for that. I don't think it's fast enough, but it definitely would work for pretty much anything else, which is kind of nice. As we wait for the last thing to finish up, we should be able to go ahead and make the Indurus Pearl. There we go. And just go ahead and get that thing done, because that is one of the last things that we're going to need. And I believe we are just about ready. All we're waiting for is our last 2, being the Emerald Singularity and the Flux Singularity. And guys, we are about to make an Infinity Catalyst. And then from the Infinity Catalyst, it really shouldn't take too much for us to be able to make an Infinity Ingot, because we should have enough Neutronium and EMC, I believe, to make our first Infinity Ingot, only being 37 billion EMC for this, which we totally have. So, the time has come. These bad boys are absolutely done. Donezo. Let's go ahead and get these cleared out, because we don't want them here anymore. Boy, oh boy. Emerald Singularity. Done. Do we need this anymore? Transfer? No, we don't need that anymore. Same over here. Last but not least. Oh, nice. Our Flux Singularity. Done. Let's get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. Bam. Perfect. The only thing I want to do now is, I guess, go ahead and break this down. We do need to save these. The last 2. I have pretty much everything else stored up in here. Ready to go. The Neutronium, these guys can go away. That can go away. Last but not least, we also need our octuple needs to go back inside of our chests, because I am still using these for EMC production. And like I said, the personal ones do not work when you're offline. So, best to do it this way for me. All right, so bam, throw that back in there. We are ready to craft this, guys. We are straight up ready to craft our actual Infinity Catalyst, right? We're missing one thing, Diamond Lattice. I think we have it in here. Maybe, maybe not. If not, that's okay. We're going to make it now. Then we'll EMC it. We'll get that stored up in there. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this thing. Man, I'm excited. And Infinity Catalyst complete. Let's EMC this bad boy. Poof. That took a long time to get this thing, in my opinion. So now that we have that Infinity Catalyst, we should be able to pull out some Neutronium. So let's pull out some Neutronium. And how many Infinity Catalysts do we need to make one of these? I think it was like 16. Or, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need 11 of these. Look at all that EMC just disappear. 11 of those to make one Infinity Ingot, right? And we need crystal matrices. Crystal. There we go. Infinity Ingot. Make. And we have the Infinity Ingot. Nice. Which means now we can craft Infinity Ingots anytime we want, and we no longer need to worry about Neutronium. I think we're basically good there. Neutronium is going to be needed basically for the weapons and stuff like that when we go to use those later on. But for right now, we pretty much have this. Now, I think we just need to wait for our EMC to build up in order for us to make the tablet. That's really what we were working for, is the tablet from Project, which is going to require about 300 billion EMC. So, and that's mostly due to the Infinity Ingots that are in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And when it comes to the amount we can pull out, we can only pull out 4. So we need 6. We can only pull out 4. So that's kind of our only gate there at the moment, which is still, I gotta say, we got Infinity Ingots at this moment, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So yeah, that is about it, I think. For today's episode, we ended up getting Infinity Ingots, which is absolutely amazing. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And as always, thanks for watching.